Journey to Saturn, Danish, Rejsen til Saturn, is a 2008 Danish adult computer animated science fiction comedy film, directed by Thorbjørn Kristoffersen and Craig Frank. It was produced by A Film AS and loosely based on Claus Delerand's comic from 1977 of the same name. The film revolves around a group of Danish astronauts who journey to Saturn on a quest for natural resources. The film also depicts and mocks several Danish stereotypes and characters, like the royal family, at the time, Danish Prime Minister Anders Fogh Rasmussen, extreme right-wing politician Mogens Glistrup, Danish therapist Karl Marmøller, Muslim immigrants, American yeehaws, Jesus, and Danish lack of style and presentability in general. The story is about an corporate-backed rocket takes off from Denmark to explore and conquer Saturn for natural resources. The crew consists of wannabe astronaut Per Jensen, military instructor and hardliner Sergeant Arne Skridsbøl, supply officer Fissa Ol, Pussy Ol, tour chef, and caterer Jamil Ahmadinejad volunteering because he failed his nationality test, and gets another chance, and two pilots. Upon arrival, the crew makes contact with aliens, but it becomes apparent that the chief of the Danish corporation wishes to conspire with the aliens to sell off all the water on Earth, except Greenland. The mission was meant to fail, and the astronauts were never meant to return home. The aliens clear out the Earth spaceship and head to Earth, on the way looking into some of the loot from Earth, including a video film they believe to be instructions on friendly Earth greetings, but being in fact a German pornographic movie involving large sausages. The astronauts are left for dead in space, but fall through a black hole and land in heaven, where they get some support. Leaving heaven guided by the Holy Spirit in the form of a dove, they refuel and make it back to the moon, where they encounter some US astronauts in their secret lunar missile base, including a redneck campervan, shotguns, and barbecue. The team then use a US space-based surveillance system to find the center of the water theft conspiracy back on Earth. The crew return to Earth and rescue a hostage scientist, Per Jensen's girlfriend, at the installation after a gunfight with. They defeat an alien monster with a keg of beer in a manner similar to that in Jaws and escape the installation just in time as it is destroyed by a nuclear bomb, sent from the moon. Now, you'd think that after the animated film that was Jensen and Jensen, Craig Frank and everyone else who worked on that film would have been fired from the film industry and be working at Burger King for the rest of their lives. But somehow they were given a second chance and made another bad monster movie. Though it's nowhere near as bad as their previous masterpiece, but that's not saying much. This film had potential to be an entertaining, fun, epic, and non-stop action summer blockbuster film with an interesting East meets West story, and that's exactly what trailers for this film lead us to believe. Guess what, people? The trailers are a damn lie, because of most of the action happens in the third act of the film, and the film has an unbelievably nonsensical, convoluted, poorly written, and confusing as hell plot with a stupid Denmark space mythology that will alienate most general audiences. And speaking of the action set pieces, none of them are exciting or entertaining. Yeah, this is based on a Danish 1977 sci-fi comic book by Claus Delerand, and tells the story about how a group of astronauts travel to Saturn to claim it as Danish territory, as the planet has great natural resources that industrialist Kurt Maj wants to exploit. But the planet is already inhabited by little green men with superior technology, and they decide in return to suck up all the water on Earth to fuel their army's UFOs. Our Danish heroes cannot let that happen, of course, but they get awfully close to failure. An animated sci-fi comedy aimed at older teens and adults, Journey to Saturn is complete with violence, nudity, alcohol, profanity, dirty jokes, and greed. It tries hard to be a satirical comedy about Danish values and touches on relevant Danish themes such as post-war traumas, immigration, and corruption. All this is wrapped in an action-filled story that is never boring, but not necessarily funny either. It's there, where silly animated action meets flat social commentary, that the movie fails big time. How many times must we see Danes open up beer bottles before we understand that beer is what they love the most? Additionally, characters are repetitive, and the jokes are almost always physical and visual, which points to a lacking script. Being a cross between Mars Attacks and 2001. A space travesty, the film employs a childish form of lowbrow humor, where beer and boobs play a big role, which is strange since the film is made for adults. The comedy is just too simple in the long run. Beer and boobs could work if there was also a bit more intelligence involved, but the satire is buried deep and the film doesn't reach beyond Sunday morning TV sci-fi. The animation is okay, but nothing more. There is little texture and few details, except the stiff nipples of the heroine. Clearly this is a moderately budgeted film from one of Europe's smallest countries, and thus the animation will never compete with its US competitors. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but in CG animation the technical and visual aspect can an additional dimension, which this movie needs. Once again, Thorbjorn Kristofferson and Craig Frank doesn't know how to direct a film and write a screenplay. I'm so glad that he hasn't made a film since 2010. But it came back director Craig Frank. It had a lot of film called Jensen and Jensen, which came out in 2011, or it is practically impossible to find. It is rare, but this movie seems to have been surgically removed from the internet. The trailer is however on YouTube. Overall, this film has terrible voice acting, unlikable characters, poor animation, crappy villains, shitty writing, awful direction and lame as hell action set pieces with a boring arse runtime. It's so sad because Journey to Saturn, Reach Until Saturn, had so much potential to be a fun and entertaining epic summer blockbuster film. Anyways, yeah. 3 out of 10. This movie sucks. Let us know that if comment below to like or dislike, subscribe hit button notification. Thanks for watching, see you later, bye.